So like you give me a second while I share the class and see that we on. All right, it look like I got everything set up correctly. Let's see if the sound is good. The sound too wide, 1 2 1 2. All right, the sound good. All right, clap it up. Shalom. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Coming out of Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana, and we are not affiliated with any other Israelite group or organization. And what we do is teach the truth according to the Bible. As you know, those who tune in every Tuesday, this evening is the Tuesday night brotherhood class. I myself, I.S.U.P.K, Officer 1000 I.S.U.P.K, here in Kansas City, teaches this class. If you're new to the channel, you're new, just watching the class, please like, share, subscribe. If you're a brother that's interested in becoming a trooper, you know what I mean, you will start off as a young man, please check in. Any sisters that are thinking about joining the school as well, please check in. And like I said before, please like, share, and subscribe to class so we can push this truth through the algorithm, push it and get the truth inside of the algorithm in order to fish for more brothers and sisters who want to serve the Most High God. You understand? Thy will be done. This isn't the will of I.S.U.P.K. This isn't the will of any other brothers or sisters. We do the will of the Lord. You understand? And I was, talking briefly to someone about the will of the Lord. You know what I mean? Because the will of the Lord isn't what we want it to be. And oftentimes in the Christian church, the will of the Lord is what they want it to be. You know what I mean? Because, of course, with serving the Lord, there's going to be a certain level of discomfort. You're not going to be comfortable serving the Lord. You're not going to be comfortable following Yahweh. He didn't live a comfortable life. You know what I mean? He didn't have his feet kicked up. He didn't have the luxury of, just living a normal life. He didn't have that luxury. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to keep in mind for brothers and sisters who are in the truth, who are fighting to the end in order to be saved, that this isn't going to be a comfortable ride. You know what I mean? Oftentimes I have to remind myself, but we have to learn to humble ourselves and realize that being in the truth isn't going to be a comfortable thing all of the time. And what's beautiful about the Tuesday night brotherhood class is learning what brotherhood truly is. In your discomfort, while you are in the truth, you have a family. You know what I mean? You have a family in the world as well, but they're in the world. They don't understand the things in the truth. The truth, the Lord, Yahweh, following him is not going to be comfortable. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that it's all bad, that it's totally bad. The discomfort comes from the world because the world is wicked. The world is evil. And there is so much wickedness. There is so much evil. There is so much temptation for those that want to live a righteous lifestyle. It can be uncomfortable because everyone else is comfortable with their lusts, comfortable in their sin, comfortable with the oppression that our oppressor puts on us. You know what I mean? So we have to understand the will of the Lord puts us in a position to really prove who we are in the spirit of the Most High God. And that's something to understand when you're walking in his faith. Because a lot of times you can go days and just be cool. be chill, and then something can suddenly happen, and you might question your faith. You know what I mean? A demon might tempt you, or Satan might tempt you to where you questioning your faith. It could be something small. You know what I mean? Some things start off small, and then eventually, if you don't receive help, if you don't get counsel, or if you don't decide to battle that demon, you'll leave the truth. You'll turn your back on the Most High God. You'll go back to the world celebrating birthdays. You'll go back to the world, if you're a woman, you're being a whore. If you're a brother, you'll go back to sleeping with whores and selling drugs, unaliving your own people. We'll resort back to returning to our vomit, as the scriptures say. Matter of fact, let me get that. Let me get that real quick. And this is oops. No, it's not that one. Proverbs chapter 26 and 11. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. So if you are in the truth, right, and you are struggling with something, and it might be something small, like I said, but something small can turn into something huge. Leaving the Most High God, leaving the truth is something huge. It may not seem like a big deal once you're in here for so long, right? Once you're in here for so long, hold on, I see a message up here. Hold on, Salakia. Okay, now I can see the message. Hey, shalom, sis. Yeah, shalami hawa shema alatah ba shemi awashah. What's going on, sis? Checking in from Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas. I got family down there in Dallas. I ain't never been to Dallas, but I hear it's a lovely place. So they say. But I'm gonna go down there and visit my family one day down there in Dallas. Now I got a new sister down there in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, in your walk in this faith with the Most High God, brotherhood, as we say in the UPK, is going to be your one of your most valuable assets, because the world makes it uncomfortable for righteous people to be in the truth. Look at Yahweh, for example. So leaving the truth, like I said, leaving the truth and returning to the world, returning to being how you was in the world. The Bible says this in Proverbs chapter 26, verse 11. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. You're a fool if you return back to the world knowing that the world wants you to be unalive, spiritually and physically. Because, as I say every Tuesday, to put in brothers and sisters' minds, as well as myself, the wages of sin is death. So if we can look at our options, if we was to weigh our options, you know what I mean, serving the Lord, not eating shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster, not celebrating our birthdays, not hating the brother or sister for any cause, you know what I mean, going to Passover. Those things can be a struggle because Satan is going to put hurdles in front of us to make it difficult. You know what I mean? Because that is Satan's job, is to prove to the Most High God who is worthy to be a follower of Christ, so be a follower of the Most High. That's Satan's, you know what I mean? That's what he does. You know what I mean? He's an adversary to those who are not willing to serve the Lord, because Satan doesn't have any power over us. He can only tempt us like he tempted Yahweh. But brotherhood, like I'm saying, is going to be a real valuable, one of your most valuable assets in walking in this truth. Having brothers and sisters on both sides to persuade you to righteousness, to where you don't have to fight these battles alone. That's beautiful. We don't have safety nets like that in the world. You know what a safety net in the world wants you to do? They may say some things that are heavy, right? I was in the world, you know what I mean? I used to go through things, you know what I mean? And my homies would tell me like, yeah, bro, you just gotta, this is what you gotta do. You know, we reading all our problems, smoking the blunt. I'm getting what I'm thinking is some wise counsel, but I'm getting high. You know what I mean? I'm falling on things that are making it worse for me to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? Clouding my vision. That's how it is in the world. You see what I'm saying? That's the safety net in the world, which is not safe at all. Satan is going to use the people around you in the world to pull you out of the truth. You're going to think that you're getting good counsel. You're going to think that the words are wise because, like the Bible says, and what's that in hold on, let me pull that precept. And this is in, let me scroll up. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The Bible says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? And that's a question. And it ends with that question, like, who can know it? When you got people talking about they following their heart. Often a lot of sisters in the world, you know what I'm saying, when they got silly, dumb bras that they listen to in the world, telling you to leave your husband, giving you advice on whatever the hell, you know, go have a hot girl summer. Cardi B said, you know, go out and just go clubbing. That's a support. That's part of healing is going out being a whore. I mean, that's what they'll tell you in the world because the heart is desperately wicked. When you get hurt in the world and you don't understand, you're not going to have the understanding of someone righteous when you're in the world. So you're going to go and do things that are desperately wicked because your heart is desperately wicked. You're going to go do things because your heart is desperately wicked, and it's not going to make sense when you get judged. You're gonna be thinking about like, damn, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Because you followed your heart. You followed your mind. You followed BS. You wouldn't follow BS thinking you were doing something that's going to help you, but in reality, it's going to destroy you. And that's why I'm saying that brothers and sisters in the truth are going to be one of your biggest assets when serving the Most High God. You know what I mean? Someone is going to be there to hold you accountable. Someone is going to be there in your best interest. Someone is going to show you real love and not just be a yes man. Not just be a yes man at everything that you want to do. You know what I mean? Sitting back, oh man, you know, I seen this. I got this chick number, and you know, she said that, you know, she had a dude, but you know, I mean, he don't really be around like that. In the world, what they gonna tell you? What your homeboys gonna tell you in the world? Oh boy, they don't even care if she had a dude or not. Oh boy, you should get up on that. Yeah, she cool. You know, you showing her the pictures, showing your homie the pictures. In here, like well, you said she had a dude and he don't come around. We know sex is marriage. So if she's sleeping with someone, that means that woman is taken. That will save a brother's life. Think about it. Because if a brother goes and sleep with another man's wife, well, it was a case just not too long ago. I don't remember if they were oppressors, but he got caught sleeping with another man's wife and he got unalived. And that's happened to tons and tons and tons of men all over the world. Dealing with another man's wife will get you unalived. That's one of the easiest ways to get checked up out of here. You know what I mean? That's one of the easiest ways to give up the spirit, because a lot of men don't have the discipline, don't have the understanding, because they follow their heart. They don't have brothers around them that are going to guide them right. I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But heathens get unalive too. We get unalive because that is a heathenistic culture to allow men to sleep with your women, to sleep with other men's wife. That is just, you know, let me get a precept for that real quick. Uh, which one do I want? Proverbs 6 and 32. This is a good one. In Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32, it says, but whoso committed adultery with another man, with a woman, but whoso committed adultery with the woman, because sleeping with another man's wife, sleeping with a woman who is married, that's adultery according to the Bible. Sleeping with a woman who has a husband, according to the Bible, that's adultery. You can go get you a wife. You can go get another wife, or 2, 3, 4, 5 wives. You just have to make sure none of them have a husband. None of them are dealing with a man. Knowing they have a man and you go and deal with them anyway, the Bible says this. I'm going to read it again from the top. For by Salakia, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. Lacketh understanding. You don't have the understanding. Like if you can't understand that you're not supposed to sleep with another man's wife, how the hell can somebody trust you with anything else? How can you expect someone to understand anything else in life when he can't understand that sleeping with another man's woman is wrong? And these are the type of things we glorify, whether it be in our rap music. You know what I mean? I listen to a lot of hip hop, and one of the number one messages, which is sad, almost on every dude's album, almost on every woman's album these days, one of the number one messages that's being pushed or has been pushed for years is adultery. I.S.U.P.K, you fat mother. Tupac, hit him up, one of the greatest diss tracks of all times. He kicked it off saying that. That's why I.S.U.P.K, you fat, when he was getting on Biggie Smalls top, right? And tons and tons and tons of other artists. We entertain that thought. We entertain that lifestyle, but the Bible says men that do that and women who allow that to happen, knowing they have a husband, they lack understanding. You understand? They lack understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. You destroy your own soul when you do that. As I said earlier, before I read this precept, a lot of brothers have been unalived due to adultery, right? You seen that brother, I forget his name, but he shot his wife when he found out their 3 children wasn't his. I went over that and did that in the class a couple of weeks ago and did a TikTok on it and everything. You understand? Because in the day of vengeance, when somebody is angry, they're not going to spare. And adultery is an act that makes men jealous. And they call brothers suckers or simps for doing that type of action. But biblically, if we were living in the times of ancient, if you got caught committing adultery, you would be unalive. You would be unalive. It wouldn't be no second chances, no third chances. You wouldn't have 3, 4, 5 baby daddies. That wouldn't been allowed. You would be out of here. You'd be out of here. You would be no longer. You would be no longer. So we better thank Yahweh for making the sacrifice that he did so all of us can have a second chance, so all of us can turn away from our filthiness and wickedness. We have to learn to be obedient, and we have to learn right from wrong. And what better place to learn right from wrong than being in an I.S.U.P.K, being around other brothers and sisters like-minded, being around people who are going to hold you accountable and hold you to a higher standard than when we were in the world. What better way to do that than to be in here? Because the people in the world are fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and homeboys and homegirls. They're going to lead us to destruction. They're going to lead you. They're going to tell you, hey, we're about to go run this train on this sister. All of them lack understanding. And all of them are going to destroy their soul when they end up with AIDS, when they catch chlamydia, when they get gonorrhea and herpes. You know what I mean? You destroyed your own soul. You lack understanding. We ought not to live our life that way. You see what I'm saying? So brotherhood is beautiful. That's going to be your biggest assets when talking about enduring unto the end. Enduring into the end, this brotherhood is going to get you there. You know what I mean? And not in no fake Israelite group. How the hell they going to endure through anything when they can't even endure with each other? Fake Israelite groups don't even endure with each other. They break off. When the Bible says there's supposed to be one body, one spirit, one baptism, one faith. You know that's in the Bible. Yeah, we're family. We're going to have issues. We're family. There are going to be problems. We're family. It's not going to be perfect. But you know what is perfect? You know what perfection is? Fixing our problems within the laws, statutes, and commandments, how Christ showed us. You got an issue with a brother, you got an issue with a sister, no sweat. Go to he and thee alone. If y'all can't hatch out your own problems, go get some counsel. Let a judge dictate who was right and who was wrong. And then from there, pay the fine, pay the fee, get the rebuke, get the understanding, get the correction, move forward with your life, don't hold grudges, and love each other once again like you once did before. Because everybody needs forgiveness. Christ forgave us all, and he was blameless. He didn't have to forgive shit, Salakia, but he did and laid his life down for us. We got to get it together, man. I wanted to share this article that I saw. I'm thinking about adding a little series into my brotherhood class. I want to start it off just to show how white fatigue I am. So if like y'all find like videos of oppressors and even other heathens, you know, since they always trying to use propaganda against us, against the Israelites, against the 12 tribes, let's reverse it and show how wicked and vile and disgusting and ghetto and ratchet and dusty they are. These heathens are dusty. They be doing some dusty shit. So like it. Let me check my Facebook real quick. Make sure we ain't got no let me see what we got on Facebook. Salaki, if anybody's on Facebook, Salaki, I forgot to check it. Forgive me, Baba Kasha. It don't look like we got nothing on Facebook. All right. So let me go to my notes real quick. Open up these notes. I got this article that I wanted to share. These oppressors. And I believe this happened in Kansas City. Let me read. Yep, this happened in Kansas City. Some dusty thugs and some ghetto, what would they call it? Trap queen and trap king. You know what I mean? What's the name? Oh shit, Salakia. I think this is one of the look, I can't even say it no more. This brother, if this is a brother, I think this is a brother. He was some oppressor. I'm gonna share it anyway. Because he got him a trap queen. You know what I'm saying? I blame her. I'm gonna charge her. Let me see. See if it'll play. I thought it was two oppressors on the thumbnail. Salaki. I read the article.
Two people have been arrested for murder in a toddler's death. Tara Warda and Kenneth Hedgecock each face first-degree murder charges. Leavenworth police say the 3-year-old child in their care, she died from acute fentanyl toxicity. Kansas Bureau of Investigation also says meth and cocaine were in the child's system.
So I don't know if y'all were able to hear that.
For most customers, the journey to this Dairy Queen in Roseville is not long.
Ready?
Different story.
Hot dog, right?
The man behind the counter.
About 3 years.
3 years.
All right.
Since Rodolfo DePaz legally arrived. The government granted him the status.
I don't know what that is. But anyway, I'm going to read it. So I don't know if y'all were able to hear it. So these two were charged with murder, unaliving their own child. The child had meth, cocaine, and fentanyl in its system. You know what I'm saying? This oppressor. Now, I thought it was two oppressors. Hold on. Leavenworth, Kansas. 2 people have been arrested after a toddler died from fentanyl toxicity earlier this year. The Leavenworth Police Department arrested 40-year-old Tara Hilter on Friday. The Kansas City Police Department arrested Kenneth Hedgecock 34 days later. So I think this is an oppressor. Kenneth Hedgecock. That sounds like an oppressor to y'all. On the picture, he kind of looked like a Northern Tribe brother. But he ain't got a Northern Tribe brother's name. Hey, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shema Elatah Bashem Yahweh Shah. My sister Zar, my beautiful sister Zar. Hardcore, heavy sister right there. So if I'm correct, these two oppressors, these are some ghetto, ratchet, and I'm white fatigue at this point. I'm tired of seeing y'all act unalive. I mean, the children got drugs in their system. Drugs in the system. For years, they drug our forefathers and foremothers, call it, you know what I mean, crackheads. They made so many movies about the ghetto and the struggle, and they look down on us as if we created these issues in our community. Now we're at fault for engaging in drug abuse, engaging in drug trafficking, engaging in drug dealing, and destroying our own families and destroying our own neighbors and destroying our own brothers and sisters. We are guilty of all of those things. However, being in the ghetto with no resources, with no help, constantly tearing us down. We don't have the money. We don't have the resources they have. Ultimately, and I like to add, we turned our back on our power, the Most High God. That's the reason we are in the position that we're in, because we don't serve the Lord. Now we see the effects of us not serving the Lord. But what is the excuse for the so-called white man? What is the excuse for these heathens? They can do whatever the hell that they want to do. Their God is American. That red, white, and blue flag, y'all be standing, saluting, and doing all that bull crap on the Super Bowl and all that. Guess what? That's their God. Money is their God. They have a God. They have a country. They have resources they can utilize. They have way more advantage than we did. We had a 400-year disadvantage. What is their excuse for using fentanyl? Why are their children dying from fentanyl? Why are they ODing on cocaine when they rule the entire planet? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. The only sense that it makes is that, like the Bible says, you know what I mean? You can't make that straight, which is crooked. The Bible says that the spirit of our oppressor, they were murderers from the beginning. They're so murderous, they're so wicked that they create drugs that will unalive their own children. They create drugs and flood America with drugs for profit, flood the whole world, flood the planet with drugs for profit, and they don't give a damn how many people die, even their own people. That's why Yahweh Shah has to return, because this earth has to be cleansed of all the filthiness that our oppressor caused, not even only for us, for they goddamn self. Look, they lost a whole child. Now they ass going to jail. Barakatah Yahweh Shah for that. You understand? It happened to our people all the time. How many children have been aborted? How many children have been aborted? How many children have been unalive due to gang banging, due to drug selling, due to everything that we have to go through in life? How many children have died? How many of our children have died? Huh? Now, the difference is they publicize all of our faults. They couldn't hide this. They couldn't hide this. But think about all the things that our oppressor does that doesn't get covered. They cover every little thing that a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian does. And that's intentionally. That's intentionally. That's not, an accident. And this is going to lead me into my next subject. But, however, these oppressors right here show should be these oppressors right here should be the face of white America. This should be the face of white America because they make the face of Negroes. They do the same thing. So why can't we do the same thing for them? I'm gonna see if you can if you can see the picture of them. Why can't we do the same thing for them? Huh? These two. Why can't this be the face for every so-called white person in America? Meth heads, fentanyl heads, cocaine heads, just drug addicts that unalive their own children. Why do we have to be looked at in a negative light by everybody in the earth as if other nations don't have the same problems we do? You understand? I'll tell you why though. It's because first, the Bible says that we are the salt of the earth. We're the salt of the earth. And also in what's that in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, I believe, the Lord said that we would be an astonishment. We're God's chosen people. Therefore, we suffer the more that we sin. The more that we sin, the more that we suffer. But we have to point out these things to people who don't understand why they're happening. We have to show that the so-called oppressor, the so-called white man, he isn't your friend, he's your enemy. So we have to show that he's using propaganda to make us look a certain type of way, to continue to divide us, to make us look like we're the scum of the earth. When in reality, they're the scum of the earth. When you can control, you can do that when you're in control. You know that, right? When you're in control, you can do that. You got the right and the privilege to do that. You got the right and the privilege to do that. You understand? Which leads me to my next subject. Africans versus Negroes. There are tons of videos to where you're starting to see more Africans rise up against Israelites. You know what I mean? And you got cats like Dr. Umar that pushes all this Pan-Africanism. You got cats like Sinetta. I know that's Captain Tazariak's homeboy. You know what I mean? I know they tight, they roll, but you know, they all they country this peace and black power and blackity black mumbo jumbo. All that shit is trash, man. All that shit is trash. Africans are not our people. And we're not Africans. And I got a few clips of this sister. What's this sister name? Let me go to my clips. Her name is and I ain't gonna lie, she been cutting it up. I've been watching her clips on TikTok. Let me go. What's her name? I thought I saved the clip that I wanted. I guess I didn't. Well, I got some clips of her, so I ain't tripping. Where's the first one that I want?
Social media wants this woman or her husband. If we have a system.
Her name is it Issa Rae? No, Amanda Seals.
Social media wants this woman or her husband.
So her name is Amanda Seals. I'm gonna go to the one I'm looking for.
I remember you said, where am I from? What do you mean by that? Like, what state am I? If we have a system. I remember you said, you from? Where am I from? What do you mean by that? Like, what state am I from?
Okay, let me find. I found the clip that I want, but her name is Amanda Seals. And she did a 20v1, right? Like, it's like some political type thing. You know what I mean? The sister Zara says, stinking ass Hamites. You ain't lying, sis. You ain't lying. Oh. Look, I don't know.
Nothing. You're not even American. You're not even a black American. As the daughter of an immigrant, it is imperative. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the
this is the one I'm trying to find. But yeah, I agree with you, Zara. The sister, all them Hamites, man. Look, I can't stand the Hamites. She said ICE needs to come and deport them stinking Hamites and not our Hispanic people. Get a sister, hey. Get a sister, Ann, because you absolutely correct, sis. ICE need to come and get these Hamites up out of America. You know what I mean? All that foo and Gucci and with all that bush meat and whatever. I just don't be feeling it. I don't be feeling it. So this I thought this was a brother at first. He was coming so hard against reparation. You understand? He was coming so hard against reparation. I'm about to play the clip, but this just shows you the difference between us and them. Us and them. You know what I mean? Look, just check this clip out real quick, and we're gonna break it down and dissect it after this. But just check out this clip.
Important thing that's necessary right now for the Black community would be the stopping of violence. Are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the Black community would be the stopping of violence, especially Black on Black violence. I don't see how reparations are going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently. A $50,000 check, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we have the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from.
Now, see, look, he already going to the left. You can give people who are in the streets $50,000. Cause I'm listening to him at the time when I'm listening to him, I'm like, damn, this brother lost. Like this nigga off his rocker. I don't know what's wrong with this nigga. But when you listen to him, when you continue to listen to it, you'll see why. You'll see why he's like that. And the sister does a good job. The sister does a good job of, shining light where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? From a political standpoint. She ain't in the truth, but she does a good job of shining light where it needs to be. But he's saying that you can give everybody $50,000 and they just gonna go do more crime. Listen, America got ahead with crime. America got ahead with crime. The mafia, the mob, all nations of people got ahead committing crimes to get the money. That's where we adopted that mentality from. That's not Black culture. We adopted that from watching Scarface. We adopted that from watching Godfather. We adopted these thoughts trying to chase the dreams of our oppressor. This is not Black culture. But for some reason, we have to be the forefront of everything negative that they do. And that's because the Lord wants us to separate from these heathens. You understand? He wants us to separate from these heathens. We don't own planes. We don't own boats. We don't have factories cooking up fentanyl, crack, and all kind of disgusting drugs that's going to kill your goddamn kids. We don't do that. We're not in control of that. That's a system. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna keep playing this video. Listen to this little listen to him, man. Just listen to him.
Getting citizenship and even entering the country, we discriminate against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States, yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that Black people kill each other, according to the FBI?
Now listen how he's putting a difference. He's putting a distinct difference when he's saying they and Black. I'm thinking it's a nigga. I'm thinking it's like one of our just lost, weirdo cousins. But now listen to him.
Oh, young man.
Yeah, white people are the oppressors.
One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of Black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. What? No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe
I'm telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has.
And then that's where it started losing me. The nigga said, well, I thought this was a nigga. The only racism, systemic racism we see is against white people. So I'm like, that shit was mind blowing. Even you see the look on her face. She's puzzled. The sister's puzzled. She like, man, what the hell are you talking about? I've never experienced racism personally. Just because he didn't experience it personally means it doesn't happen. You see what I'm saying? That it has to be the dumbest logic ever. That has to be the most idiotic logic to ever try to validate a point ever. Come on, man.
And trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other, but they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them.
You see what he said? Did you hear what he said? Let me rewind that. I don't think y'all heard what he said.
White people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other, but they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth.
You hear what he said? He said they are more likely to kill each other than for white people to kill them, because black people want to be in the same dorm as their kinsman, as their brother, as their neighbor. When you have a oppressor here in Missouri, and where's the other town? They trying to build these all-white towns where nowhere. They already building them. What's the name of them damn towns? Hold on, let me find them real quick. I'm gonna go back to the video. What's the name of that damn oppressor? If anybody know, put it in the. Somebody said Branson. Is it Branson? It says news report from July and August 2025 mention a whites-only group called Return to the Land, RTTL, that is expanding its presence in the Ozark. The sister was white, Branson, of the United States. The water says, get a sister hand. Well, Fluffy Frenchies. Salagi, I don't want to say sister. Fluffy Frenchies, get Fluffy Frenchies hand. I can't see the picture. She said she checking in from Tia. Okay, Most High in Christ. Hey, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shema Allah Taba Shem Yahweh Shah. She says she's checking in from STL. Give St. Louis a hand. Yeah, Branson, Missouri. So they can have an all-white town in Branson, and I believe they have another one, or they're trying to establish one somewhere else, right? They feel comfortable living amongst each other. And who said it had anything to do with being unalive, to being killed? Naturally, just naturally, if you go to a space where you don't know nobody, and it's all different type of nations, all different type of ethnicities and everything, right? If you see 2 or 3 black people, y'all automatically gonna link up. Y'all gonna link, clink, clink. Well, what's up? Well, hey, what's happening? Like, you gonna link up with your kind. That's just how it goes. That's natural. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the good form of racism. You understand? The oppressor created racism to make you think that their racism is systemic, and it's to make them be higher above all the other nations. They had to create that system because think about the story of Esau. Come on. Everybody that know the Bible, think about Esau. He didn't receive the blessing. So what did Esau do? He cried like a little bitch. Salakia. Esau cried like a little bitch, like a little baby. He still got his blessings, but he cried. And he from that point on, he was Man, he wanted to unalive his brother Jacob, and he would do whatever it took with the spirit of Cain to overcome and set his kingdom. Now, that is creating a system to make him feel as he is, the system he created makes him feel high and mighty, right? But you can read about his downfall in the book of Obadiah. But he created this system to make him feel high and mighty because in his spirit, he know that he's not. He know that we the ones. He know that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is a threat to him being the Almighty. He's not. He didn't receive that natural blessing from the Most High God. He got a generic one. He got one, but he didn't get the one that we got. And he been salty ever since. So they can have a whole town. They can build whole towns, and nobody will speak on that. But because some college students want to have a dormitory with black people because they feel more comfortable in country, look, where my sister Zara at? I believe he said it was in Iowa. Did he say it was in Iowa? Hold on. My sister will tell you about Iowa. Hold on. Let me go back a few seconds.
Systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example,
Western Washington, never mind.
Segregate dormitories using black-only dormitories because
I don't know why I thought he said Iowa. Salaki, sis, I didn't mean to put you on front. I didn't mean to put you on blast like that. Obviously, my ears wasn't hearing. They wasn't hearing. You feel me? So in Western Washington, I don't even know nothing about Western Washington, but it has to be a reason why they feel more comfortable around their own kind. And what is wrong with feeling more comfortable around your own kind? That's the dangerous point. That's the dangerous part about MLK's dream, trying to bring everybody together, trying to force everybody together, trying to make a rainbow coalition. That's dangerous. Just because, why can't we just all have respect for each other? You know what I mean? Why can't we just all have respect for each other? You be over there, I be over here. I won't come over there, you won't come over here. You know what I mean? I come in your business. I won't steal. I won't do anything that is profane or to harm or hurt you. And you have that same respect when you come over here to my businesses. What's wrong with that? We ain't got to live with each other, sit on each other's lap and eat and drink after each other. Why? That's weird. Why? You understand? But like I'm saying, he made a point to say that college students want to be separated in Western Washington, but he not speaking on these oppressors in the, what's this shit called? The RTTL. The RTTL, returning to the land in the Ozarks, the water to the Sister Tia. And I believe they have another location where they established a similar neighborhood. Nobody's talking about them and their racism. But this weirdo talking about he never experienced racism. I wonder why. Let's continue. Let's continue.
People feel safer amongst each other, but they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor when black men are more likely to kill me?
Oh my God, this is scary. So on a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is grounded in the realities that Black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism. And we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with even the fact that redlining, which was implemented to discriminate Black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so at all.
So it does exist, and stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists. It is not a It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact. And there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems. If a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve. When we talk about systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in third grade. So if you are literally building prisons with the onset of, okay, if these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline where we can use their free labor. Then how is that not systemic? And if you want to
Stop them from entering.
The sister spitting. Y'all listen to this sister? The sister spitting. The sister spitting. You create a condition, right? You create a condition for a people who don't look like you, who you don't care for. You create a condition for them. When the children can't go to school and focus on what they need to focus on because their mother is strung out on drugs, because their father is in prison, because they're going through life a totally different way from our oppressor, they going to school getting low test scores. So now they going to school getting low test scores. And when they create this system, okay, when these children go to school and get these low test scores, more than likely, this is the route that they're going to go. How do they know that? Because they created the system. They created the system. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked rule this earth, man. We have an oppressor who hates us. And it's been that way since both nations were bought into the earth. It's been that way. We have a choice to make as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The only way we will overcome this system, you got to think, we have principalities, we have threats, we have enemies in higher places. This is a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual battle. And how do we win this battle? How do we win this battle? Anybody want to answer that? Anybody watching? Do y'all want to answer that question? Baba Kasha, how do we win this battle? Do we go grab some AKs and everybody band together and buy all the ammo out of the pawn shops and shit? And Carbelas? And everybody just go get guns and strap up? Is that how we gonna beat our oppressor? How we gonna defeat our oppressor? Anybody want to answer? Let me check on Facebook. Oops. I gotta turn it down as soon as I click on it, it's gonna make all kind of noise. I don't know, nobody want to answer. How we gonna defeat our oppressor? I'm gonna get a precept real quick. I'm gonna get a straightforward precept. I'm gonna give y'all a hint. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. That's the clue. That's the clue right there. So if you heard the precept that I just read, how are we going to defeat our oppressor? Anybody want to answer? I'm going to read it again. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. The sister Fluffy Frenchie said, follow the law. Get a sister a hand. Get a sister a hand. So, just like in Egypt, when we left up out of Egypt, we didn't have to pick up spears and swords and shields and ride on chariots and go and chop off all the goddamn Egyptians' heads. We didn't have to do that. The Lord heard our cries. The Lord had enough of the heathen putting their foots on our necks. And he's going to hear it again. This will happen. It will come to pass. And I know the conditions of black people seem like it's impossible because we're stiff-necked. You understand? We are stiff-necked. The sister Zara said, follow the 10 laws and the commandments. Keep all the commandments. Damn right, sis. Get a sister a hand. Because that's exactly what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to do. And I'm going to jump back up to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. I just read 15. Now I'm going to read 1. This is how we overcome our oppressor. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if they diligently hearken, taking this to heart, like, but we got to focus. We got to take this here serious. The Lord is not to be played with, right? Diligent. We have to be diligent in the Most High God, man. What is it to be diligent? Is diligence what they teach in the Christian church? Do they teach diligence in the Christian church? No, because God knows your heart in the Christian church. He knows your heart in the Christian church, so you don't have to be diligent. Christ did all the diligence for you. So therefore, you don't have to do anything. You just have to confess with your mouth and get baptized, and you can keep eating pork. You can keep sleeping with whores. You can keep smoking weed. You can keep doing everything that the Lord warned us about, and we'll continue to stay in these conditions. That's not being diligent. That's returning to your vomit. That's being a fool. You understand? Diligence, it's a persistent work ethic. Persistent. Diligence isn't like something that you just do one time. You're just not diligent one time. Diligence is a way of life. Diligence is consistency. Diligence is how you change. If you go on a diet and you're not diligent in your diet, you'll never lose weight. You'll never lose weight. If you're not diligent in a diet and you're trying to lose weight, how are you going to lose weight? You'll never lose weight. So if you're not diligent in the Lord, how will you ever change your character? How will you ever become a new creature? How will you ever understand what it means to be perfect when you're not diligent? You understand? Let me keep reading. If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe. What does it mean to observe? When you observe something, right? I know a lot of you brothers, you like to observe a lot of women out here. But are you observing them in the way that the Most High God wants you to observe the woman? You have to observe, yeah, what are you focused on? What are you looking at? Like, what is your focus? When you observe something, that means you know, it's like you studying it. So you have to observe, you have to be diligent, you have to observe, meaning you have to pay attention to it. Right? Let me keep reading. To observe and to do all his commandments. Like we can't pick and choose how to serve the Lord. Like when we were Christians, we could pick and choose how to serve the Lord. We'll go to church every Sunday when we were Christians. And as soon as something offends you because that's what you into, and what do I mean by what you into? Like if you like getting high, if you like smoking weed or smoking crack, if you're an alcoholic, if you like sleeping with random women, that would offend you if someone told you that you couldn't do that in order to serve the Lord. That's because the Christian church doesn't teach that you have to be diligent. It doesn't teach that you have to observe the commandments. It doesn't teach that you have to keep the commandments at all. But in the Bible, it teaches us how to overcome death, how to overcome oppression, how to overcome wickedness, how to overcome all the struggles that we face throughout our day-to-day life. See, when we learn about true faith and what it takes to have true faith, and because true faith takes for our personal lives to be uncomfortable. We've been going through hell our entire life, but the moment we want to overcome wickedness, and the moment it makes us uncomfortable, we don't want to do it anymore. And we forget all the harsh and wicked things we done been through in our entire life because we're uncomfortable in serving the Lord. As I stated earlier, righteous men, righteous women, a brotherhood that is going to hold you accountable, a brotherhood that is going to make you walk the straight and narrow, a brotherhood that is all focused on the same objective, will be your number one asset. Will be your number one asset. Remember, I told you that. So if we decide to, sway this way and sway that way and sway this way, and I ain't trying to talk to him and I ain't trying to talk to her. Oh man, I heard the school did this. I heard the school did that. Yeah, ain't nobody perfect. You're just making excuses so that your behavior can be justified. And guess what? That's Satan. Because if you know someone is going off in the school and you haven't talked to them and you haven't tried to correct them, it just gives us an excuse to where we shouldn't seek to be corrected. You understand what I'm saying? And that's it. That's all. Now let me continue with the Bible. I'm going to start back to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. I don't know about y'all, brothers and sisters, Akim and Akwakim, but that is music to my ears. If we're willing to be uncomfortable in our personal lives in order to serve the Most High God, and we keep and observe and do all his commandments, and we work on ourselves, do you know what the reward would be? The reward would be to inherit this entire earth and be high above all the other nations. Damn. That's a hell of a reward. That's a hell of a reward. We talking about taking back all the natural resources of the earth. We're talking about the status in the earth where no longer the white man wouldn't be the icon in the earth. They wouldn't be the star in the earth. They would be nothing. They would be like unto what? Spittle. 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 And we would be back in the positions that the Most High God intended it for us to be since the beginning, as if we never have sinned. That's a hell of a reward. I don't know about y'all, but that's worth suffering and being uncomfortable. And another thing we have to understand, which can it may help you, it may not, I don't know. It helps me. The negative thoughts that we have that comes against us in the truth, it's really like not your fault. The earth is wicked. Satan will continue to tempt us, and he's going to do that because we have to really prove, in order to get this position that I just read, it's not going to be given to you, right? The Most High God doesn't spoil us like horrible parents. He wants us to work, because think about it, we've done so much wickedness throughout these generations going against the Most High God. They're like, we really gonna have to prove as a nation that we want this kingdom, and we're not gonna fumble the kingdom again. We're not gonna fumble the kingdom. We ain't gonna look, and Christ is gonna make sure that we don't. But what I'm saying is that the Lord wants to make sure that we're ready. We're ready. We are not ready. We are not ready. And how do I know that we're not ready? Because we don't care enough about each other, man. We don't give a damn about each other at all. We got a lot of work to do, man. However, I'm gonna go back to this video.
To get them into prison.
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King.
So if you are literally built, when we talk about systemic related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems, if a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve. When we talk about systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in third grade. So if you are literally building prisons with the onset of, okay, if these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline where we can use their free labor. Then how is that not systemic? And if you want to
stop them from entering prisons,
how are you going to stop people from entering prisons if your goal is to get them into prison?
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King Von. That's very, very simple.
So how does King Von happen? How does King Von happen? Reparation. Actually, no, let me land the plane. We're talking about reparations, and what you're doing is actually just trying to get this conversation off the facts. And the fact is, reparations are just and necessary because on a basic level, Black people built this country, and the country continues to thrive off of the labor that Black people put into this country. And it would behoove you, young man, to really understand the way that your ancestors put blood, sweat, and tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears.
I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing.
So the sister, like I said, she's not in the truth, but she has a passion, and she's very passionate about bringing the struggle of Black people to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? She ain't taking this whole 20 v1. If you go and watch it, it's very interesting. So that means it's 20 people against her, and she's spitting, and she pulled out the strap on everybody. Like, it was very interesting to hear this sister got a mouth like, brrr. I remember Commanding General Yohana said back in the day, the mouth of a Black woman needs to be studied. So like your sisters, y'all got some fully automatics on y'all. Y'all got switches on y'all. Y'all just be but in this case, she's trying to do something positive. You know what I'm saying? Now, why did I play this clip? And why is he responding the way that he's responding? Check it out.
We are saying, I am better because I figured it out, and so you're the problem because you didn't figure it out. What about
First,
Oh no, that's not it. Hold on. That's when she was talking to another sister. Now here go. Is it this one? Hold on. Okay,
Would
this.
you say that low-income white people and low-income black people have the same?
I remember you
Where
said.
Are you from?
Where am I from? What do you mean by that? Like, what state am I from? Where was I born?
Where do you live right now?
I live in Florida. I was born in Angola, though. I was born in sub-Saharan Africa. Okay?
Like, are your parents Black American?
Yeah, my mom is black. My father is black.
No, I'm asking, were they born in the United States?
No, because I wasn't born there.
Oh, so you guys are all from Angola?
Yes.
Nothing. You're not even American. You're not even a Black American. As the daughter of an immigrant, it is imperative that Black people from other places understand the disparate difference that they exist from Black people in the United States. It is not the same. Period. And ultimately, the best effort that we can do as a diaspora is to lead in understanding, not in judgment. So when I am talking to somebody from Sudan, from the Congo, from Angola, I am listening to understand their experience, not to undermine it. And I refuse to allow anybody from Grenada, from Angola, from any other place to come and try to undermine the experience of Black Americans.
I remember you
Where
said.
are you from?
Sister was spitting. Tell me she wasn't spitting. But that just goes to show you that Africans and Negroes here in America are not the same. So all that Dr. Umar and all that bullshit school that he talking about building, listen, peace and Pan-African, he's a peace and panhandling nigga. Trying to bring us closer to Africans and talking about we African and in the Congo and like, no, we're not the same. We don't smell the same. We don't eat the same food. Our women look 10 times better than they women. Who chasing African women? Nobody. Listen, we're not African. You can clearly see how he hates Black people. Africans hate Black people. And I'm not speaking to each and every African like personally. I'm speaking it from a national point of view, from a nation point of view. Overall, y'all don't like niggas. And I just wish more Blacks, more Negroes would understand that we just not African. And clips like that have to be shown and broken down, because if they not, we'll continue to try to like, okay, we tired of the white man, so we gonna go try to go back to the motherland and live with all these other heathens. Like, no, they're not your people neither. They sold you into slavery. Africans sold Israelites into slavery, right? And then they try to cover it up and say Africans sold Africans. Like, no, they sold Israelites in 70 AD. We fled into the Western Hemisphere of Africa, avoiding the Roman persecution. Oh, hold on. And how could I forget this? Before I move to my next subject. How can I forget? Now, this is in the, which a lot of, if you in a UPK, you didn't read this dozens and dozens of times. So this for brothers and sisters who may not have read or come across the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. You know what I mean? You can read the definition of Ham. So we all know, or I perceive everybody knows, Salakia, but Noah had 3 sons. He had a son called Ham, he had a son called Japheth, and he had a son called, what's the other one? Japheth. Did I say Japheth? Shem. How could I forget Shem? Because that's where we come from. That's where Black people come from. We come from the seed of Shem. So you can go get this dictionary. It's called the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, right? And it says Ham. Now, this is the definition of Ham in the dictionary. Ham, the youngest son of Noah. So Ham was the youngest son of Noah, right? Born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. So Ham became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. Hold on 1 second, baby girl. I'm about to have my daughter tell this story about the Roblox. So I want to ask you about the Roblox, Ryan, and what you sent to me about them not wanting to let someone defend. Well, he was trying to catch predators on Roblox, and they kicked him out of. They banned him. Okay, we're gonna get there. Let Dad finish this, and we're gonna get right into this story next. And you can explain to all the followers and people listening online why they banned the guy, okay? Right. So it says, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. Ham. Ham. So we're not Africans, even according to the Bible. According to a so-called white man's Bible dictionary, we're not Africans. They know exactly who we are. They know that we're God's chosen people. They know we're the Jews. We're the Jews, right? He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and guess what? In the Bible, those Canaanites, who we always used to go to war with, try to sleep with our sisters. You know, Hamites stick their thing in anything, rhinoceroses and hippopotamuses, and they try to blame us for monkeys. Talking about that's how like, no, that was them Hamites. They mess with monkeys and baboons. They eat gorillas. Look, we're not Africans. We're Israelites, right? We're Israelites. We're not Tarzan. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. Go check out that Sisters 20v1. She on her spitting. She on her spitting on everything. So now, my last subject before we get up out of here. Roblox. A lot of people's children play Roblox, right? And I know if you like me, because all my kids play Roblox. I got my own account where I can drop in and see what they doing. I don't know how to play Roblox, but I know how to log in. And when they online, I can get in there and see what they doing, see who they talking to, and see what games they playing and whatnot. But you have a lot of, which they're all in the world. They're all online. You can't hide from the creeps or the PDF files, the weirdos that be on that type of time. Like, you can't hide from them. You have to educate your children on how to practice integrity, on how to spot these type of things and report it. Report that type of abuse. Don't sit there and talk to strangers. Don't sit there and be weird with weirdos. Like, teach your children that young, right? Don't let them be in everybody's face. Don't let people just come up and have weird conversations with your children. So Roblox is a game that you can download on any phone or tablet or computer, and it has hundreds of other games. It's like a app that has hundreds of games that developers create, and they create a world to where you can create an avatar and make your own name, design your own avatar, make it look wacky and crazy if you want. You can look like any damn thing on Roblox. And then they can go in there and play and have fun. Is that the Roblox? Mm-hmm. She said, mm-hmm. So, but this is the thing. On Roblox, like I said, you got weirdos. And your children are on Roblox as young as 5, 3, 4, 5. If they know how to work a phone, they know how to play Roblox, right? But you have predators on Roblox. Now, you had this guy. What's the guy's name, Ryan?
I think, how do you say it? Skep?
Skep.
I think.
Is he white or black?
I think he's mixed.
He's mixed.
He might be.
But Skep is trying to catch predators on Roblox. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Skep, he's a YouTuber. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so explain to the people what Skep is trying to do. Just talk loud as you can.
He was just trying to catch predators.
Come closer. This is my daughter right here. Go ahead.
He was just catching predators on Roblox. He got like 6 of them arrested, I think.
So my daughter said that Seth,
Yeah.
Skep.
Yeah.
Skep. So Skep was setting up stings on Roblox to try to catch predators. He caught like 6 predators in the process of him setting up stings. He caught more than 6.
He got 6 arrested.
He got 6 arrested. So Seth is doing the Lord's work. Got 6 PDF file weirdos arrested on Roblox, a platform that your children play every day. And I just wanted to bring awareness of this situation because a lot of children's kids and grandkids play Roblox. It's probably the biggest app. Probably. What the sister say? She said it sounds like digital Legos. What's digital? You know what digital Legos is? Okay. And maybe that may be another game. But however, Sket got 6 pedophiles arrested on Roblox from setting up stings like that oppressor back in the day, how to catch a predator. But he's doing it on Roblox, right? You understand? So now, what happened? What did Roblox do?
They sent him a thing saying he was going to sue them if he tried to do it again. He banned him.
So say that loud. I need you to say that louder so that people can hear you. Speak a little louder, baby.
They threatened to sue him, and they banned him off the platform.
So Roblox threatened to sue the guy who was catching predators on their platform, and they said they were going to sue him, and then they banned him from Roblox. My daughter sent me the article, right? Oh, the daughter said, Salakia, excuse me, sis. She said, no, I meant we had Legos when I was a kid. Now they can make stuff on video games. Yeah, they get a sister hand. I know a little bit about Legos. I used to build with the blocks and all that. I'm old school too, sis. But now they banned him and threatened to sue this guy who was catching pedophiles on their platform. Why is this even possible? Because America is wicked. America allows this type of behavior. When you have a president like Donald Trump, who's a pervert himself, who says that he can just go around and grab women by the private parts. And also Donald Trump was on the Epstein Island. He's a pedophile himself. So when the country is being ran by these type of people with this mind frame, why us as Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, why do we put so much spirit and so much fight into defending a nation that is so wicked, a nation that is a nation that will willingly hurt your own children? I'd be damned if I let somebody hurt my kids. But that's what we say when we don't want to separate our spirit from America, as the Bible says. We don't want to separate our spirit from America. We embrace America. We love America. When America is the home of every foul creature. This is spiritual Babylon. This is spiritual Sodom. This is the place the Most High God despises, and it will be destroyed when our King Yahushua returns. It will be destroyed because it's a disgusting place where kids can't even play on a goddamn video game in peace without perverts making passes to children. And someone is trying to fight, and the video game platform threatens to sue the guy. Why is that? I wonder why. Let me ask my daughter, why do you think they want to ban them?
Probably because they're pedophiles themselves.
Say that again?
Probably because they're pedophiles themselves.
And how old are you?
11.
My daughter's 11. And did you hear what she just said? Why would they want to ban him? And then she said the creators must be pedophiles themselves. Get a little sister a hand. Get a little sister a hand, because that is absolutely true. So we have to learn how to deal with this beast, because this beast is a different type of beast, and we will get lost in this beast if we don't separate our spirit from the world. If we don't start to learn how to love each other, if we don't start to learn to have brotherhood and sisterhood, if we don't learn the commandments of the Most High God, your children are going to be on platforms like say it again, Roblox, and get groomed by pedophiles that are on a goddamn video game. If you don't teach your children the laws of the Most High God and protect them, your children are never safe. And remember what I said, your children are never safe if you don't teach your children the laws of the Most High God. If you're not bringing your children up in the most, look, everything is sweet for a minute. Everything is sweet for a minute. Peace can be for a minute, but things happen and things can change. So if you love your children, you might want to teach them the laws of the Most High God. Because guess what? Roblox ain't, but you can. You can teach your children how to serve the Lord and protect them from wickedness and protect them from predators and protect them from all the harsh things that this world has to offer. Yeah, your daughter want to go to a birthday party? Well, yeah, she can't. My kids can't, because I know birthday parties are demonic. You know, a birthday party, when you read the demonic Bible, the demon Bible, birthdays are the #1 holiday in the demonic Bible, because you worship yourself. You're not worshiping the Most High. But they want the kids to think that it's fun, because you're getting gifts, you're eating cake and ice cream, everybody's playing. But guess what? In the midst of that, all the demons and the demonic activity that's coming from these people that are in Roblox, they online typing, and they're going to give your kids gifts. And they're going to ask them if they want some ice cream. And they're going to pull up to them in the park and have a doll and some ice cream, and your kids are going to take it. And they're going to get in their car, and you're never going to see your kids again, because you never taught them how to resist their flesh. And that's the scary part of the world that we're living in. Serve the Lord. Come out of her, my people, because we're getting destroyed in the process. Kids can't play a goddamn video game. A man, I don't know if he's a brother or not, but he's catching predators on Roblox, and Roblox banned him and said they were going to sue him because he's trying to protect children. That tells you what type of world that we're living in. And the I.S.U.P.K has been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians how to serve the Lord and to protect God's chosen people since 1969, man. You understand? So, hold on, let me read this message to like it, sir, if I may. Nor to get off the topic, my worldly relatives told me that it's not a sin if you get tattoos. It's your body. God don't mind if you get tattoos. I said it's a sin for tats. Sis, you ain't lying. You know the precepts, or you probably read the precepts like I read the precepts. You cannot mark your body up with ink to the dead, to anything. To anything. That's not our culture to get tattoos. I have tattoos, right? I got my tattoos before I knew I was an Israelite, before I came into the truth. I won't dare get another tattoo. I wish I could erase everything on my body off my skin. But unfortunately, I made mistakes prior to me coming into the truth. I made mistakes prior to me coming into the truth, right? But I repented from that. Now, people in the world, what else do people in the world say that you can do? What are we talking about right now, sis? People in the world think it's okay to be child molesters. People in the world think it's okay to commit adultery. People in the world think it's okay to be drug addicts. So of course they're going to think getting tattoos are okay, because they think all sin is okay. That's it, sis. That's all, sis. They think all sin is okay. But according to the Bible, according to the Most High God, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, we ought to obey. We ought to obey. And think about tattoos. And what the hell is a tattoo? You get your goddamn name tattooed on you like you don't know your own damn name. You get your kids' tattoos name on you like you don't know your kid's name. It's childish. It's silly. I just leave it at that, sis. Salakia. Salakia, sir. I meant to say they sold us Israelites as slaves. I'm typing too fast. Well, sis, shit, I know what you're talking about, sis, and you exactly right. They sold Israelites as slaves because we are not African, and African ain't us. And stop trying to be African. Stop listening to that goddamn fool, Dr. Umar Johnson. Quit giving him money to steal, talking about he gonna open a school. Yeah, come up out of her. We're not African. And Lord be with anybody that think they African. And with that, this concludes the Tuesday night brotherhood class in Kansas City. Shalom, Yabashim and Shabakatham to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shema Alatah Bashim Yabashah to the sisters. Until next Tuesday, brothers and sisters, I'll see y'all later. Shalom.